everyone, my name is Zoila Pinto Espinosa. I'm the ELL teacher at Cox Mill Elementary School. I'm using a variety of tools to connect with families and students. For instance, with parents, I use Microsoft Teams. I use email in a very regular basis. I use Google Forms. And for my students, I'm housing content, instructions, and language in Canvas. However, assignments are housed in platforms my students were familiar with since the beginning of the year. I have found during this time that communication is important. Communication is what is keeping us going. I'm very thankful with my kids. They are working hard. Parents keep in touch with me, and it's just wonderful. It's tough, but wonderful.
Hi friends, my name is Brewer, and I am an EC teacher at the most wonderful preschool on earth, Mary Frances Wall Center. I stay connected with my families through Microsoft Office team meetings. It's virtual, and I love that fact where I can see each child and their families and communicate with them back and forth at least once or twice a week. And then of course I'm calling or emailing as much as possible. I love the Microsoft Team Office meetings because I miss the fact that when we were in class that I could see the reaction when the children would come in, when I would greet them. So it's almost as good seeing the child's reaction as I'm greeting them online or I'm singing a song.
Hi, my name is Gomiz, and I'm an 8th grade ELA teacher at CC Griffin Middle School. I've been connecting with students primarily through Remind, which is a tool that we used before remote learning, so thankfully students were already familiar with it. And my PLC has also created a daily check-in, which is a Google form where students let us know how they're doing and if they need anything. This is where students can also request a pep talk, so I will make a short video just giving them some motivation to get their work done as we close the school year. And we've also started doing small group days 1 day a week, so students can sign up for a short small group session with myself and some of their friends, and that's a chance for us to talk and also to work through anything that they are struggling with that week.
We are effectively connecting with our students via email, our band website, as well as the Remind app. In the beginning, we thought that if we used a multitude of platforms that we would have more success reaching more parents and more students, since we do teach 300 students. And that actually turned out not to be the case. The simpler we made communication, the better for everybody. So now we just use email links to our website. The first page is just general reminders and information, especially for rising 6th graders. And then they can click on assignments, and assignments are broken down by week. So they can go through, see what is due, whether it's going to be done on Smart Music or if it's going to be done on Google Classroom. And then there's also links to tutorials and information videos for them that either we have created or we have found online that have been really helpful for our students.
I think that during this remote learning time, it is really important to keep the consistency and the connection school provides. And even though I was using already a blended learning approach, moving my teaching into a fully virtual environment has been a massive, difficult change. And I say that because the time that I invest in recording videos, editing them, is a lot. I wish I could make them in one take, but that's not happening, not yet. I have also incorporated puppets. You can see them in the background. And I have one particularly that I love. I'm positive that this is a huge opportunity for us to show our creativity to show what we are made of and to show that we are unshakable.
My teaching strategies has totally changed since I went from in-class to online. I'm sure like every other Cabarrus County teacher has. When I was in the classroom, of course, I was working with a team of therapists and just to make sure that we were providing learning opportunities for each child so that they could work towards their goals. Now it's more I'm providing opportunities for the parents to work with the child, and what that looks like is our Microsoft meeting team, me and my therapist, and we're just picking out maybe a few goals and asking, can you work on these? And all my parents have been great. And when I say working on these goals, that could be just providing choices that works at home, food choices, what would you like to eat today? Language, just pictures, adding pictures, sending them pictures through email to be able to use with their children for communication. So it's a lot of the teachers, therapists working through the parent to help the child.
I think that the biggest adjustment that I've tried to make to teaching strategies during remote learning is to just imagine what supports I would be giving students if we were in the classroom and trying to recreate those same supports, whether that's an extra video or maybe getting onto their document with them and working with them through an assignment. That has been the biggest help. I've also been relying on my co-teacher, Mr. Florence, who's amazing, and asking him for help on modifying assignments and also just his expertise on how to make instruction and more accessible for all students.
We quickly learned that teaching to an ensemble was not going to work during distance learning. There was no possible way for us to meet with 300 students, even in smaller groups. We tested out just 5 students in a group on Teams, and because of the different devices and the different bandwidth and internet speeds, we could not perform together. And so we changed our mindset completely. We no longer look at teaching as a full ensemble. We're looking at more private lesson teaching. So we have been able to set up and stay organized with 300 students teaching literally private lessons, and that is thanks to Smart Music and their generosity providing that program to our students. We have contacted multiple people from universities to music education majors, as well as the United States Air Force Band, and they have really stepped up and helped us, and we created this Google Drive. So students can go on to this Google Drive and find their instrument, and each one has a video or supplemental material for them to look at, and the videos are created by professors at universities, student teachers, as well as people in the United States Air Force Band, which is really
During this remote learning time, I have found the simple tasks such as checking spelling and grammar in a written assignment takes much longer. Like it is a process of zooming in and out in order for me to provide an accurate feedback to my students. I have also found out that all the structures that I had in place before all this happened were not enough. I have to go back to school, and I have to be prepared basically to provide emotional support to families and my students who could be suffering mentally, financially. Then be positive and encourage ourselves and encourage our relatives and take care of those little ones who are our responsibility.
I have learned through this process that my students are amazing. I was worried about the connection piece with them. I was worried how they were going to react after seeing me all the time in the classroom and now seeing me on a screen. And they still have that smile, that joy from just the connection online. I do miss that physical touch, but I have a connection with them online also. I am amazed at how resilient they are. I have amazing kids. The name of my class is Lovable Lambs, and they are wonderful. I also have just the best parents in the world. My parents are so resilient. They went from having kids in a classroom to being at home and providing learning opportunities that they would have had at school. They're trying. It fits the home need, but they're still providing opportunities to continue learning, continue language, continue growth. So I'm so impressed with my parents. I just have the best parents in the world. Also, I have learned about myself that it doesn't matter where I'm teaching at. I love teaching. It could be on the rooftop, it could be inside, or it can be in the classroom. And when you have a love for teaching, it doesn't matter where it is, you're going to teach because you want what's best for your kids, and you want to continue to see that growth. You want to continue to have those positive relationships and connections. And that's how I have changed over this time.
I think that the number one thing that I've learned from my students during this time is something that I already knew about them but has just been confirmed, and that is how amazingly resilient they are. They have taken this challenge of moving to 100% online learning so gracefully, and they have been incredibly patient with myself and their other teachers as we move to this new way of doing school, and I can't even imagine how hard this has been on them without being able to see their friends and being in that comfortable environment that they are so used to for school. And I could not be more proud of them for all the hard work they've done.
So I think one thing that we have learned is that band is really a social environment. Musicians, directors, we are social people in nature, and that has been very difficult for a lot of our students, and for myself sometimes as well. We come to band to perform together, to not only learn music, but we come to perform together as a large ensemble and to make amazing music with our friends. And when you take out that aspect, you're taking out 90% of what makes band. And so a lot of our students have come to us with that internal struggle. So what we've tried to do is turn the situation into a positive. Say, we were telling them that we've been given an entire quarter to focus on your individual needs. So instead of it being you and a group of 300 working towards the goal of a concert, we now have an entire quarter to work on making you better. We can focus our time on you as an individual. And I think that they've learned that we can have positive outcomes during social distancing.